What's up, trading card gang? Welcome back. Sorry, we're going remote again. I got the COVID, so we have to do remote for this week.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
team.
next week we'll be able to get back to opening some packs and stuff. But this week,
Yeah, what's up, gang? What's up, gang? Team Kyle lost his got COVID and he got lost his taste from that. He lost all of his taste buds from that hot sauce video, but he did catch the COVID, which he seems to be recovering. But yeah, we hope you don't mind the remote this week.
yeah. So we didn't know what to do, so we decided let's rank the Friday the 13th movies because everybody seems to like the counselor video so much. Might as well keep going with the flow.
Yeah, and it's our first video talking about a movie franchise. If you guys like this type of genre that we talk about, we could always talk movies once in a while. Comment below if you want us to continue to do franchise rankings.
Yeah, or showing off our movie collections or something.
Yeah, but anyways, we're just talking movies today. Um, this is the original 12, right?
Sure. Yeah. Is it 12 or
So
11? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, 12.
12. Okay. Why did my screen just go so dim? There we go. Okay. All right. So
Because your
starting off
phone's
with
probably
start.
dying.
I got enough juice left. Starting. So number one, we got part one, the original. Um, Geez, where do I put the original? I'm gonna go A because a lot of people this is not their favorite, but I have a lot of respect for it.
But, Sean, I got a question for you, and I won't kill
Yeah.
you if you can get it right. Who's the killer in Friday the 13th?
So your voice is coming back. That sounds familiar now. All right, Ghostface. All right, Ghostface. It's I know this one. It's Jason. It's Jason.
Wrong answer. Jason's mom, Mrs. Voorhees, is the killer in the first one. I don't even know if that's the
Yeah,
exact line, but I know it's something like that.
yeah, yeah. And then she's oh bullshit. I've seen that movie 1,000 times. It's Jason. Wrong answer. No, it's Mrs. Voorhees. I can't talk like Ghostface like you.
But yeah, I would agree. A tier. I mean, I remember when you showed this to me, and even my thought was, Jason was the killer in it. So it was a shock to me when I was a kid and I found out that it's not Jason. It's his mom is the killer in the first one.
Yeah, we had some fun growing up watching these movies, and yes, because it's a who done it, and not I'm not going to talk too much about this one because we have to talk about the others, but I just like how it's the way it's shot. It's very dark. It's a very dark movie, and um, it's creepy. It has a creepy feel to it, especially like towards the middle to end. You get to hear like she's totally mental, and you hear her talking in the darkness, actually mimicking her son. In the count that one part where the girl hears the little boy screaming. She thinks it's a little boy screaming, so she goes out to investigate. And we know how it ends for her. Spoiler alert: she dies.
What?
But I know, right?
Wow,
But
ruining the movie
yeah,
for me.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, definitely, I would say A. It's not a lot of people's favorites, but I think it's. I know in the community, the horror community, it's not a lot of people's favorites, but I go A for that for the
I mean,
original.
it sets the precedent for like the rest of the movies and whatnot. So,
Yeah, yeah, and it's not bad. Um,
sorry if I'm
I
coughing in the
mean,
mic a lot.
yeah, I'd say you agree. So you agree for A? I mean,
Yeah, I would totally agree that goes in the A.
crazy ending with the whole decapitation and the. I'm sorry if you haven't seen that movie already. It's been out for what 50 years, 40 years.
Quite a while now. So that was
Yeah,
what, 81? 80?
yeah, 80, I think. And Tom Savini with the effects. Um,
Yeah,
he's a mastermind with the effects for that movie.
definitely. All right,
And
part
all
two.
right, number two.
Number
Number
two.
two.
Part
Number
two. Would
two.
you consider it an actual number two and put it in the D tier? Or would you?
Part two. Part two, I would
I
say.
feel like part two is not as memorable as some of the other ones. I
I like
know
it. Yeah,
you
it's my
have
top.
your reasons
My
on really
it's my
liking it,
top three. Yeah, it's my top three of the franchise.
but I
But
feel
I would. Say,
like, honestly, I feel
yeah,
like the second, and the third one are kind of just like forgettable to me.
yeah, yeah. I know what you mean. That
But the second one, he
understandable.
doesn't
Yeah.
even have his iconic mask yet, right? He
No,
doesn't
he just
get
runs
it
around in that potato sack.
because he doesn't get it till part three, right? Is when they give him the mask,
Yes, yes,
if
that's
I'm
right.
remembering
So
correctly. Yeah.
in part two is the one that takes place right across from the. It's the same town or area that the first one was, and
Yeah.
it's like supposed to be across the lake, and it's a training counselor. Oh, don't mind my boxer; he's whining. He's a it's a counselor training center, and I guess but it takes place in the same, and they they do a decent job explaining the story, like to cover up that he watched his mother beheaded and all that crap. And I would say I like part two. It's my top three. It's my second favorite. So I
But
would
they
say
killed off the
I like
best
the.
girl in the beginning of the movie.
I know. Yeah, sorry, my boxer wants to play, but my boy Gordon.
Which makes, you
Um,
know what? Now that I'm really thinking about it, not to go off on a side tangent here and waste a lot of time, you know
yeah,
it's really confusing now? So, the end of part one, Jason comes out as a kid, and it's assumed that's what, a dream maybe, but maybe not, and we don't really know.
it's a jump scare. Yeah, it's a dream sequence.
Yet,
And you know, where's the
then
boy? Where's the boy?
then part two is like what? Basically the same week, right? Like a week later, a couple weeks later.
It's
It's not
supposed to
even.
take place. I believe it's supposed to take place 5 years after the original, but that makes no sense because how could he grow from a 12-year-old boy or whatever, 13-year-old boy to a man that just lives in the woods and he's fully
I
grown like like
I tell you
adult?
how. By eating this week's sponsor, Wheaties. We're not actually
Yeah,
sponsored by
yeah.
Wheaties.
Or eating his 40 chicken McNuggets with hot sauce.
Yeah, also not sponsored.
Yeah, I know,
um,
but yeah, but I like this one. Not to go on a tangent here, but I like the characters, like especially um the main counselor there, the girl there. I forget her name. I think she's
the blonde.
played. Yeah, Amy Steele. I think is her name in real life, but I liked her in the movies. Easy, Gordon. Sorry, of course, my boxer wants to play now, but yeah. So that one's A for me. I like the characters are memorable over the first one. I like the characters better in this one.
Yeah,
Um,
so
I
good you
like the
can't even
pace.
remember their names.
Amy Steele, and then you have I think Paul is the lead, is the he's the trainer, head counselor, whatever. I like his fire time campfire story of scares everybody about and then and he's like he scares everyone about the Jason story, and then he's like, okay, bottom line, don't cross the lines, don't cross the fence over the over there. You're not allowed, off limits. But everyone's all freaked out after the story. The guy, and then there's just random counselors that somehow survive. They go into town to that bar, and then it's like the ones that hang back get killed off. I thought that was weird how
Well,
a
yeah, they
few of
split
them
up
made it.
the group because it was like
Yeah,
the
they had
kid's
two.
supposed to show up in like a week or something, so they had a little bit of downtime, and then people were like, "Let's go to town and get drunk."
Yeah, they're like, what about our last night out? Before they were waiting on people, but I think honestly they didn't have enough runtime to because there was like 20 in the beginning of the movie. You see like at least 20 people with the campground,
Maybe, yeah.
and maybe
Oh.
they didn't have enough time to actually kill everybody off. I don't know. And then the famous wheelchair kill with the guy going down the poor guy was just on his way to get lucky, and then
Yeah. I don't know.
and
It's
then
not my favorite. I would probably say it's a B, but you think it's an A?
Yeah, it's my top three, so I'll go ahead. But I mean, I would agree with you on B because a lot of people it's not their favorite.
Yeah.
I'm fine with B.
And now part three. I vaguely remember anything from part three. I know
And
I've watched
sorry,
it in 3D.
and sorry. The last thing I'll say about part two compared to the video game, she puts on that sweater at the very end. The Amy, I think her name was Jenny in the movie, but blonde. She puts on the sweater to look like the mother and Pamela Voorhees, and same thing in the game. You can find that sweater and kill Jason in the video game.
Yeah.
For all of you guys who like that counselor ranking. But anyway, sorry. On to three. Yeah, the 3D glasses. I still have that copy in my collection that comes with 3D glasses. They really
Yeah.
suck. I mean, they really
I mean,
nothing. All it does is give you a headache because
it's just that red blue split thing that they did back in the day.
yeah, you can watch it in 3D on at home, but like we don't have 3D unless you have a 3D TV. It's not gonna, it's not gonna pop out at you. I don't know how. Forget when we watched it. Really, there's really like hardly any difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just fun to put the glasses on, I guess.
I don't know. The gimmick makes it almost a C tier for me.
Yeah, that movie part three is not my top. Part three is not my top three. I would say B or C. It's a. I mean, the best part is when he gets the mask.
Yeah. And
The final girl, I think her name was Chris or something. The brunette. She
yeah.
was all right for a final girl, but not like my top. Not one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Definitely like part two better than this one. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember now.
I'm just
They
gonna
go
say C.
they go to Higgins Haven and you get that crazy kill with the guy who gets picked up and um, the girl opens up the door and she's looking forget his name but and then you see his eyes get popped out in the 3D in the
Mm-hmm.
crappy 3D. And then you have the most random group of this is I think this one has like the most random group of stereotypes. Like you have like the Shelly um, the nerdy guy who plays pranks on everybody who he gives
Mm-hmm.
Jason the mask, hockey mask. Then you have like the random hippies that show up that like and then it's just the most random. They just throw all these stereotypes of people together and
Shelly's like the only
they're not
character I remember
counselors.
from part three, and that's because he's like the guy that gives them the gives them the mask basically and everything, right?
Yeah, he gives them the mask and it's they're not counselors. They're just away for the weekend on like a vacation for the weekend with friends.
Party
Um,
dudes.
yep, and what else? The barn scene's cool at the end when she actually manages to get away and um, she tries to hang Jason and then Jason just
Mm-hmm.
lifts up his mask to show her who he is like that. And she gets all freaked out with the show. He shows his face a little. Then he just puts the mask back down like, oh, it's me. I'm ready for you.
Mm-hmm.
What else? It's just that then you have you have the biker gang that goes after them because Shelly stands up to them in the store and then runs over the bikes to get back at
Yeah.
them. But I mean, it's not my favorite. So yeah, I would agree with C. Um, some decent kills. I mean, he gets his mask, iconic mask there. So yeah, that's about it. I have. That's about it for part three.
Yeah. But now
Part four.
we got
Now
part
my favorite.
four.
You know,
Like,
it's my
yeah,
favorite.
it's like the best one.
Yeah, part four is awesome. Yeah, I would say S for definitely.
Oh, definite. It's the
Yeah.
best of the best. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that, and it just kind of gets worse.
Yep. So you got your TNA, and you guys all know what that stands for. You got plenty of that. You got your Corey Feldman, the little kid who plays Tommy Jarvis, who is awesome. Something about a kid. You don't want to see kids in danger, and this is the first one that actually has like a strong kid, and he did a great job in this movie. He's the little brother, and even the sister, Trish, I think is her name. She's the blonde. She's the final girl.
Hmm.
And then you have the guy who's after Jason, who's hunting him or trying to stop him himself. without the cops, and his sister turns out is the Jason killed his younger sister in part two. So that's cool how they um, tied those together with brought some more character development, whatever you want to call it, some suspense to the franchise.
Hmm.
Like he's actually trying to go after Jason because of get revenge on his sister's death because the
Yeah, which
cops
is
the,
which is
because the
similar
cops
to what the
yeah
remake was like, the Friday the 13th remake
yeah
in terms of its
yeah
story, but not
and
quite the same.
and you have Crispin Glover as his name in real life. I think he plays Jimmy. That is, and
It was
he's
the
from Back to
dad
the
from
Future.
Back to the Future. He's a fantastic
Yeah,
actor. Yeah.
yeah. So
He
they
was
did a
like he
great
was a
job.
big name actor who was playing in a low budget movie like that.
Right. And I
And
don't
he
know if this
didn't
movie
need
made
to, I
him.
think.
I don't
I
know if this
think
movie made him
I think
because
no,
it came out.
I think the Back to the Future movie had already come out. I think it already did.
Well, I think this came out in '84, and then '85 was Back to the Future, but I might be wrong.
Well, Back to the Future was filmed like 3 or 4 years before it actually even came out, which is interesting.
Okay, so he was a big name by then because he had already
So yeah,
filmed
Back to the Future was
Back to yeah
85
yeah
and then part 4 was 84. So it did come out a year before it,
yeah, but
which
maybe
is
they filmed
weird.
it
So I don't
before.
know. So
I don't know.
he must have done the same thing that happened with Michael J. Fox, where because Back to the Future took so long to come out for some reason. Part 1 anyway. They were doing all these other shitty movie roles, and those after Back to the Future came out, like all those other movies started to like get more,
Yeah,
um, like fans and viewers and stuff like that. Because I think Teen Wolf was actually recorded after Back to the Future, but it came out before Back to the Future, so it was like one of those movies that did that. Anyway, I'm getting off topic now, but yeah.
yeah, but he's popular. And I think Team Kyle's point here is big name actor like that, and you put this for some reason this group of vacationers or whatever in the movie. The group of friends is so likable, and you actually have fun. At least in my opinion, you have fun watching the movie. I mean, if you guys hate this one, by all means, comment below if you hate this one. It's your opinion. Um, but yeah, but part four is a likable group of people. Always, they're always
Yeah, keep
busting each
talking
other's
about part
balls.
4 and then talk about part 5. I'll be right back. My food just showed up.
Yeah, but anyways, yeah, the group of characters are great. The kills are great. The twins that show up, the girls that show up are awesome. Um, what else with part four, guys? Awesome kills. They brought, I think Tom Savini came back for the effects. His joke was he didn't want anything to do with the other ones, part two and three, but because he didn't like the idea of Jason coming back because they killed him. He's dead in the original. But his joke was I created Jason, so now I have to kill him. So that's pretty awesome. Um, yeah, but I can't try and remember the rest of it. Awesome third act with what was the guy's name? I think his name was Rob in the movie. He was the one that was after Jason for the revenge on his sister, and then he ends up getting killed in the basement. But I like the third act, especially that machete kill, and well, the way they quote unquote killed him, as we all
All right,
know,
what did
is
I
a
miss?
well. I'm just rambling about part four still. I was just talking about the third act, how I love the machete to his when he falls when Corey fell when the Tommy Jarvis swings gets him with the machete, and then or it was Trish the blonde. But anyways, you know how he gets the machete in his face, like he falls down and the machete just as he falls down, Jason falls down on the machete. They throw his mask comes off, and you see him just fall down, and the machete just goes right up to go as he's falling. It just stabs him right up in his eye or whatever. Remember
Yeah. I love how I
that?
could have walked away and said nothing and come back and you still would have been talking about this like nothing had happened.
And then, anyways, I talked enough about part four. Um, if you guys are even still here at this point, but yeah, that's my favorite out of the whole franchise. Great horror movie. Just a movie you can throw on with some popcorn and have fun every time. Part five, I can't stay the same. I cannot stay the same. I'm sorry. This one, I
Yeah.
would say this one is I would definitely say D. I mean, it's trying. I'm trying to find ways to give it some respect. I'm trying to think. I don't know.
Yeah, part five's the one where it's not even actually
It's
Jason, right?
it's not even him. And they try to they bring back the character Tommy Jarvis, different actor obviously because he's grown up at this point. Um,
What?
but
It's not Corey
it's
Feldman? They didn't wait for him to get old enough to play the role?
I know he was. I think he was filming Goonies at that point or something. He got he
Probably.
yeah, but Goonies is classic. But yeah, excuse me. Now I'm coughing. I'm trying to think. You do have the if you look up the cast there, one her name's Debbie Voorhees. She's the in real life, and you'll know why I like her. But she's the only reason I give this movie. I'll put it in C tier. No, I'm just kidding. I would say D. Just horrible. I don't know what they were trying to do. It wasn't scary at all. Not that these movies are. I mean, they're not that scary. These movies and they're just slashers. But I
What are you talking
mean,
about? They're
the
horrifying.
yeah, they're horror. But I think they tried to go down a different road. The third act is okay with the. I like the kid. What's his Reggie the Reckless.
Hmm.
The kid that plays Reggie and um. But yeah, I can't stand any of the other characters. Like even the final girl, I don't even remember her. Like really, like the only character I remember in this movie is the little kid Reggie, the little
Hmm.
boy. So they
Yeah.
brought it back a little. They brought back a little boy to um as one of the victims. But he ends up surviving, and it was a Jason imposter that saw his son um get killed in the beginning. His son gets killed in the beginning for some. It's like a rehabilitation hospital, halfway house or something,
Hmm.
for troubled teens or whatever. And um, the guy one of the, I forget his name, but he just kills the guy with the candy bar. That's his son.
Yeah.
I forget the names, but and that turns out to be the father is the paramedic Roy who uh, takes out his revenge on the characters from
So if
I
you
don't know
think of
I
it
can't
this
stand
way,
it. Yeah,
I
I
mean,
can't
it's
stand
called
it
A
at
New
all.
Beginning, and they're
Yep,
basically taking the original Friday the 13th concept and redoing it with a man in the role.
exactly. Yeah, and they're trying to yeah, and the cool thing is it's a different Jason because it's got blue marks on the mask instead of the orange or the red instead of the red.
Even though every mask is slightly different in every one of the movies anyway.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, they they just went after the kills were I mean not even that great. Some of them they just ramped up the kill count and then um characters I don't even remember them. So there's no characters that I really liked. I don't really like the what they did with the whole setting. I don't really care for that either. A halfway house, like they could have done like maybe Jason in the city or Jason in New York, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if they ever try that. But anyways, yeah, on to part six. Unless you have something else to say about part five.
I don't know if I've actually watched part five.
You're not missing much, but I mean, we can watch it. The next Friday the 13th, I can bring it over and
I know
make you
I've
make you
seen.
make you suffer through that.
I think I've seen every single one except part five because I think you hate part five that much that we never watched it.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, and I may just be not remembering it because we don't
If you
usually watch
okay,
it. So I don't know.
that's fair enough. But if we do watch it, be prepared to laugh and make fun of it, and I'll bring the beer.
Well,
And what
if I can
you need
laugh
to
and
bring,
make fun of
yeah,
it, then at least it's good enough for a laugh.
yeah. So so there we go. It sits in D tier, but it gives you a laugh. I'll give it. The laugh does not move it up to a C in my book, but hey, at least it gives you a laugh.
Okay.
But all right, part 6. I like this one. This is
Jason
probably yeah. I like
lives.
this. I like this one. This one's grown on me over the years. I don't think it's my. Is it my top 4? I think it is my top. Yeah, it is my top.
In your top 12, is it in the top 12?
It's in the top 13. Friday the 13th. I would say whatever. I liked it. I would say I would give it an A. I would say A.
I only remember the beginning mostly of this one, and I know it's Tommy digging up his body and then sticking him in a stake, and then like a lightning bolt hits him and he comes back.
They bring him exactly. Yeah, they bring him back
That's
like
all I
Frankenstein.
vaguely remember from this movie. I know I've seen it before. That's all I remember at this moment.
And then you get the whole James Bond intro when Jason walks by with the machete, and you
Oh
get the
yeah,
yeah. You remember
that
that?
was
I
a
like that.
weird choice, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's whatever.
So, anyways, what to say about part 6? Definitely like the characters. Tommy Jarvis. I think he's played by Tom Matthews. I remember because all the if you guys have seen Hike in the Snow, the fan films, they bring back Tom Matthews in those movies to play Tommy Jarvis in the fan films. Check those out if you have not. But anyways, part 6, not bad kills. The paintballers, I remember those and those guys in the woods. I remember that scene.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Trying to remember what else. And then you get the. This is the one they actually did a great job of adding some comedy to it, because I remember watching those. I have the box set, the Crystal Lake, the whole box set that came out last year. I forget um, the whole Blu-ray box set that was released, and in the special features, you get the interview with the director, and I remember him saying about part 6, he's like, "Well, you really want to make another one? I don't want to. Who wants to see another one of these? Because they were low budget and they made money. They were popular."
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Well, can I do something different? And can I, write my own?" He wanted to add some comedy to it, and the producers or the whatever the producers in the studio were like, "Yeah, as long as you don't make fun of Jason, we don't care." So they did a great job of adding comedy to the movie. So it's comedy slash horror, but parts were still scary. Like they weren't making fun of Jason. Like they still a decent movie. Perfect blend of like cracking jokes and scenes that were funny, and still you had the classic Jason going back to the camp and um,
Honestly, if you can do
badass.
comedy
Yeah,
right in a horror movie, it'll make you
yeah,
care more about those characters when they die. So,
yeah. And this one did a great. This one was good. I mean, um, now I would even say I go back to this one more than the first 4. If I'm watching it, like every Friday the 13th, I usually watch at least one of them.
mhm.
Um, either make my girlfriend sit through it with me or watch it by myself. But yeah, it's trying to think the other parts I like, but um, the whole time you have Tommy Jarvis trying to convince the cops that the sheriff that Jason's back, and they arrest him thinking that he's like another imposter, and he's just mental because of what happened to him when he was a kid. Um, but they arrest him and they think it's him the whole time, and then they realize finally that while he's in the cell in custody, the bodies start turning up, and his daughter is like, "Dad, Tommy was with me the whole time at the police station." And then the sheriff's like, "Oh shit!" But no one wants to admit that Jason's alive. But I mean, he's back. Jason lives. Hence the title.
Mhm.
But
I know. Shouldn't
good.
they have read the title before? Then they would have known he was alive. Jeez, idiots.
I know. But I would say definitely A tier. Yeah, enough rambling about that one. I want to know what you guys think about part 6 too, because it's grown on me over the years. Okay, part 7.
I like part
Um,
7.
yeah,
For
you remember this one?
oh yeah, I remember this one pretty well.
Yeah, the sleeping bag kill,
It's
and
got the sleeping bag
just
kill. It's
yep,
the main character. She's got psychic powers, which is kind of like it was a little weird. and it's kind of
Yeah,
stupid, but it's also kind of interesting to give somebody powers to kind of like fight against the evil.
yeah. So this one, not as much comedy in the writing. Um, Definitely back to the regular Friday the 13th formula where you just have the people on vacation and Jason's back. But this one, fun fact, if you guys don't know, the footage got the MPAA totally slashed up this movie. No pun intended. Uh, Slashed up this movie. The all the kills are kind of edited to the kills. Some of the kills are decent, like the sleeping bag. You still see a little, but I mean, they butchered this movie. So and there's no uncut version released. Supposedly the footage is gone. Paramount, it was the studio. I guess it's gone. I remember watching in those commentaries, the special features, that the fans just want an uncut version, or even just release it. And we don't need like Blu-ray or 4K quality. Just release a Blu-ray of the doesn't have to be 4K of the uncut version of the movie with the full kills.
Yeah,
You know, but
maybe someday somebody will find that like, oh, we had one reel left that they missed in the back corner, and here it is, and now we're gonna release this version.
yeah, but for a horror franchise this big, how does a big studio like that lose the footage? I just don't get it.
Because they didn't lose the footage, they purposely probably deleted it or got rid of it.
Yeah, I have no have no idea why, but because they could have made some money on a release down the road. But anyways, I like the way Jason looks in this one. I remember he has like he's been through hell and back, so he has you see his spine, you see his ribs,
Oh yeah, he's
um,
like really
his
decrepit in this
yeah
one, and
yeah he's still got the chain around his neck from when in the last movie. Tommy gets him in the bottom, drowns him again in the last one, so he's still got the chain from when he was drowned in the last one, the bottom of the
mhm.
lake. This one's good. Yeah, the kills. I'm trying to remember. Sleeping bag. You get the um. Oh, geez, trying to remember the kills now. But anyways, kills were good. You get the guy, the couple in the van with the party favor in his eye. He gets a party favor in his eye. What else? Uh, I remember certain scenes, but the kills, like, oh yeah, the doctor. So you have the doctor who's trying to, um, uh, obviously get rich and write a book or whatever off the psych girl who has psychic powers. Tina
Mhm.
is her name in the movie, and then he like cowardly grabs the girl's mother when they're running away in the woods from Jason, and he sacrifices her mother, and then Jason comes after him with that huge weed whacker, that huge, remember that drill or
Yeah,
whatever it was, the huge. It's like and then when you see the Dr. Cruz get killed, you're like, we're all like cheering, like, oh, that asshole finally got what he deserved. But yeah, this one's decent. I would say so you put this one of your favorites, right? So I would say B, A or
yeah.
B.
I was thinking B, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean,
All
I
right.
can see why it wouldn't be a lot of people's like preferred one, but it kind of tried to like give an old franchise some new ideas. So I give
Yeah,
him
in
props
these,
for that.
and now
And
we're getting up
the
to the.
female lead was kind of a badass, if I recall.
Oh, I liked her. Yeah, Tina, the one with the powers. Yeah, I liked her.
Yeah.
Um, but these ones you could call them the zombie Jasons, that he's just back every time, like walking around. The first one, the first four are kind of like he's still somewhat human. He runs around a little bit after people and takes some blows. And but anyways, the next one, because this whole movie takes place in New York City and they did such a great job, I'm gonna go S.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Oops.
this one,
Sorry, my
yeah,
finger
what, yeah,
slipped. Guess it's stuck at D now.
yeah. Oh, I remember now. What doesn't like 20 minutes of the movie take place in New York City? That so misleading. I mean, look at the cover, look at the poster or the slip cover there. I love New York. It's like
Let's just
20 minutes.
say
Of,
Let's just
20
say
minutes of the
the
movie.
boxing scene in this is more boring than watching Logan Paul try and fight anybody.
You, I agree. That boxing scene is boring, but the one kill though on the rooftop when the
Yeah.
boxer tries to he gets his Jason punches his head off. That's probably the best part. I mean, that's the only decent part in this movie. I think the
The
characters
only
I don't remember. Characters I don't remember. I don't even remember the final girl. I'm trying to remember her name.
the only scene I
And
remember is that
yeah,
that dude getting his head punched off and it landing in the garbage.
yeah.
Like
And
this
then
movie should have
the
landed in the
asshole
garbage.
the asshole teacher gets drowned in a barrel of toxic acid or goo. But yeah, it's a group of high school. They just graduated, right? I think high school, and they're on the cruise, which is fine if you want to start like the first 20 minutes should have been the cruise, and then take the cruise. So it's like a couple scenes, 20 minutes, half hour tops, and then they're in New York City. But they only the third act takes place in the city, and they just get a couple of scenes in Times Square, and then you get then they're chasing them around down in the last part of the movie is like down in the sewers. So like what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
Like you get a couple scenes in the city. That's it. Like so misleading. And come on, give me a break. They say they don't have the budget, or that I think that was their excuse. They didn't have the when they
Yeah.
actually got down to the table, and they said, "Oh wait, we actually don't have." I'm sure they wanted to do most of the movie in New York, but they didn't have the budget. Come on, like this franchise, that would have been cool to see him most of the movie,
No, no. Well, that's the thing.
like
It
in the
was
city.
the
Yeah,
the writers and director and all that were probably like way behind it and wanting to do all this stuff in New York, and then
yeah,
the board people were like, "Well, here's $1 million," and they're like, "Well, we need like $5 million," and they're like, "Well, figure it out."
right. It was just the studio didn't want to show out the fun to show out the money for the whole
Yeah,
movie, and
because it
well,
was
not the
probably
yeah,
like,
yeah,
well, most of these movies only make $5 or $6 million, and you want to use that $5 or $6 million to film the movie, so we won't make any money off of this one. At best, we'll break even.
right.
Which no,
So
none of them want to do that because they're in the business to make more money. So that's why a lot of these, it's like, budget's like $1 million, $2 million, something like that. Because I
right,
think a lot of
especially
these would return like 2 to 3
at least
times that.
you're right. So they want to keep the ratio of profit. It's a business, I understand, um,
I mean,
but
that's why it
a lot,
sucks. But
yeah, yeah, a lot of people don't like this one. I'm right there with you. Uh, the one other scene I like is on the subway. He's pretty cool when he's chasing them through the city on the subway. Um, and then he's in the restaurant, in the diner. And all the people are just sitting there eating, and they like no big deal. It's just a guy in a hockey mask. Welcome to New York. I think that was a decent. Yeah, but definitely a disappointment to the franchise. This is at the very end, so these movies were their time was over. I think this is towards the
yeah.
decline of the yeah. I mean,
Didn't that
the
one do
time was
so
over.
bad,
Yeah,
and that's why this next one was supposed to be the actual last one?
I forget what this one did. I'll have to look that up. But yeah, part nine, Jason Goes to Hell. Um, I haven't seen this one in a while, actually.
I've only watched it once, and I watched it back in like high school.
Yeah,
Um, I remember
cool
it
idea.
not being as bad as I thought it was gonna be. It was
Yeah, they
better
tried something different.
than these two, for sure.
Oh yeah, better than part. Yeah, I like it better than part five too, and part eight. Yeah, I agree. So I would say C.
Yeah.
I would say C. Yeah,
I
this one
remember it was
they
like
bring back
Jason's
the
soul just hops around and he possesses people. It was a little
yeah
weird.
yeah trying to remember. The guy eats his heart, so then
Hmm.
he becomes then he just starts body swapping to possess other people and geez, I'm trying to remember some of the kills. Kind of gory. This movie I remember. But honestly, I can't. I remember that one scene where the cop or whatever gets tied down and Jason is Jason's soul is being um, swapped over, the body swapping to the other guy. I feel like they have him tied down. I don't remember. Honestly, guys, I don't remember much of this movie. I haven't seen it in a long time. Um, but decent how they tried something else. They killed Jason off. I do remember the beginning. They kill him off completely in the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
and they try to go down a different road, try something new. So I give them credit for that. Cool idea though. A Jason body swap or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Next up, Freddy versus Jason. Man,
Which
we
you
had
may be wondering why I put Freddy vs. Jason before Jason X. Because even though that would be 10, and that was part 9, so that would be 10, and this seems
Yeah.
like it'd be like almost like a random spin-off, it actually takes place right after Jason goes to hell. Like, not like immediately after, but in this timeline, it's still in that timeline, because one of the first things Freddy has to do is get Jason's soul out of hell.
right, and then the end of part 9, don't you see the glove come up to take the mask, or is that the end of? I forget if that's the end
Maybe?
of part 9. Yeah, I think that's the end of.
That
But
might be.
we had some laughs watching this when we were growing up. Remember that part in the hallway with the door? He smashes the door down, and the cops like slowly backing up, like holy, he's like shitting bricks,
Oh, yeah.
like holy shit.
This one, it's not really scary. This one's mostly a comedy.
It's mostly a comedy, and mainly it's some action. You get to see some cool fight scenes between Jason and Freddy, which is the end of the movie's pretty good. I think the end is pretty good with the fights. You get to
Yeah.
see those canisters. Those canisters are those missiles that they look like giant missiles flying through. I think Freddy sends them off, and Jason just walking through like a minefield, walking by. I forget what they were, like those big tanks that were just flying. And I think you get that cool. That part was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Not really. I mean, the characters not really memorable, but yeah, mainly exactly just a comedy slash. You get to see the two iconic horror villains in the same movie, which is pretty cool. Even though the story's not that good, I mean, um, I would say Freddy vs. Jason. Oh man, I would say C.
C? Wow, I thought you were gonna go for B, but yeah. I mean,
B or C.
it's
I'm
not.
I'm right there. Like I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence with B or C.
We'll put it at B. It's better than I think Goes to Hell and Part 3. It's more
Yeah,
memorable.
yeah, true, and it's always cool seeing two of your favorite villains in the same movie. They finally got it done after years. I remember after years because I think they wanted to do this in the '80s, even the '90s. They wanted to do this, but the studios could not come to an agreement. It was Paramount and New Line could not come to an agreement
Mm-hmm.
as far as the distribution and all the all the money.
Yep.
But anyway, okay, part 10, Jason X. So this one is Uber Jason. And I remember real quick with the video game, all the mods for the video game now, because the game is, we all know the game is dead, but the community is still making maps and making mods to the game. With Uber Jason just came out. One of my other YouTubers that I watch sometimes, he does let's plays or streams for the Friday 13th game, and I just watched it to see the new Jason. But yeah, the movie, as far as the movie goes, it's the space. Remember that part with the what do you call it? Like a hologram of
Yeah.
the camp. Hey, you want to have come? You want to have some beers? You want to have some sex? You want to have smoke some pot?
Yeah. The
And
prenatal
they're trying
sex.
to,
We love
yeah,
prenatal sex, and they take their tops
yeah,
off. Yeah. I love how
yeah,
you
they're trying,
jump straight to
yeah,
75% through the movie.
yeah. That's the only part I can remember. No, I'm trying to think what
Mm-hmm.
else. Uh,
So this one takes place like way in the future.
yeah, like 2009, some not 2009,
No,
20. I forget
I think
what
it's like,
year, but yeah, way in the future.
yeah, it's way in the future. There's
Yeah.
like crazy space travel. You got nanotechnology stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, the
and
one kill that I
basically,
liked. Oh, I
they
think you
they
might.
they've been
Yeah.
trying to kill Jason forever. They even acknowledge like all the other ways he was killed in all the movies and other ways that they said they've tried to kill him. He just will not die, no matter what they did. So they did the next best thing. They put him on ice.
Yeah. Yeah, and they pretty much they have a bounty on him, so they have him captured on ice, and they're
They're
pretty much
transferring him somewhere or something like
somewhere. Yeah.
that. And
Yeah, they said
then,
yeah, putting him
lo and
somewhere. Yeah.
behold, something happens. He thaws out. And then he starts killing people on the ship.
Yeah. Remember the one cool scene with the best kill in the movie was
The liquid nitrogen.
the the liquid nitrogen. Yes.
Yeah,
Um.
that one's pretty creative.
Yeah. Smashes her head on the counter, and
Mm-hmm.
oh, that was pretty cool. Yeah. I mean, you put it up there, and oh, never mind. That's Freddy vs. Jason. Jeez. I would say C. B or C actually, because the fact that this takes place on a ship in the future is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say B or
And
C.
honestly, I think the look of him, the futuristic look, when he gets that nanotechnology to make him even fucking worse and
Yeah,
more unkillable, um, is a pretty badass look.
yeah, I would say B actually. And a
Yeah.
lot of people who a lot of people who watching this might be rolling their eyes right now or clicking off the. But hey, it's all right. Comment below if you don't like Jason X, tell us where you would place it, and just tell us why. And I respect your opinion, because you know these movies, everyone can voice their opinion. No offense taken, guys, if you don't like this one. And the next one, the remake,
Yeah.
um,
This one had
2009. This one's pretty good. Jared
this
Jared
Jared
Padalecki, right from
Padalecki, yep, from
yeah
Supernatural was in it. Yep.
yeah, I like him. Yeah, this one was good.
This one was good. It was interesting because you see Jason actually running in this one. Um,
Yeah, he's more badass in this one. And this
there
one
was some
doesn't get
pretty
it.
interesting kills in the beginning of this one too. If I
Oh
remember.
yeah, and I think this one is underrated because the beginning, the first 20 minutes is crazy. They
Oh
pretty
yeah,
much try
this
to,
one. This
yeah,
one's not slow. This one gets like
no,
into the action
no,
pretty fast.
oh yeah, because you have a totally different group of people that gets killed off in the first 20 minutes,
Yeah, and
and
you think
yeah,
that it's gonna be like there's gonna you're trying to figure out like who's gonna be the final girl and all that stuff, and they all die.
yeah. So that I give him credit for that first 20 minutes, badass, because he has the sack on. So they're pretty much trying to sum up the first four movies into one movie, and
Yeah,
then
they
you get
took
and
they
then
took a
yeah,
major plots from like part 2 and part 3, and a little bit of part 4. I'd say maybe not too much,
well
but maybe a little bit. I don't know.
part four, I get you could say that they have the cabin and they rented the house and they're partying and
Oh,
they
true. Yeah, true.
because they're playing, remember they're playing beer pong and
Yeah, because I would say they take the idea of the guy trying to find his little sister who's presuming is dead and killed or is missing at least.
yeah,
Um,
so that's part four.
which is a lot of part 4 inspiration there. He starts without a mask and then he gets the mask, right? So
Yeah,
that's like
yeah,
part 2, part 3.
he gets it from that barn or that farmer's whatever, that barn from the attic or whatever in the barn.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But um, yeah, I'm trying to think. Characters were okay. I mean, you have that one asshole guy. You have the Chad. I think that's what Chad's based off of, right? The blonde guy, the jerk in this movie.
Maybe.
Um, so decent kills. I didn't mind this one. I kind of like the cool idea of. Remember, he's running around. He has like a whole underground like cave. He has like a whole pathway. He
Yeah,
has like a
underground
mine,
like
oh, like old
network.
mines
Yeah,
underground network, and he rings the if you're in a certain area of the camp or on a path, you ring if you it's like a tripwire. It rings a bell down in the mines or
yeah.
the network, his network of I don't know what you call it, but it's pretty
It,
cool. He's
it
down there in the
it
trail.
took
He's
away
down
the mystery of
underground.
how he would like always get in front of people, even though they're like way ahead of him.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool the way they added that. And
And they gave him
the
less
one thing,
like teleporty feeling powers and gave him more of a like he's actually kind of a smart killer.
yeah, he knows that's his domain. That's the reason why he gets around so fast.
Hmm.
But the one thing I did not like was when he caught he caught the sister, and he had just because she had his necklace or something, if I recall. Uh, so he saw his mother's necklace, and he captured her, and he has her tied up down. Jason does not capture people. I'm sorry, you're dead. You're dead meat if he catches you, and that's it. He doesn't capture people and kidnap them and tie them up down in his lair or his mind in his network of mind of paths down underground. I'm sorry, I did not like that. But the rest of the movie's pretty good. I mean, that's my only gripe with this movie is the he does not capture people. I'm sorry, not part
Yeah.
of his mo. But yeah, decent remake. I would say yeah, go ahead. Right, yeah, hey, I think it's underrated. I like the remake.
Yeah, no, it's definitely underrated. That I see what they were trying to do with it, and they were definitely doing a lot of the right stuff. There was a few, minor wrong things about it, but it's the fans that go, "Oh, that's not that good," and then that's why the
Yeah,
movie,
but
flops because
yeah,
people
but
were
they
just
in
like, "The remakes suck." But even though I didn't mind this remake. I didn't mind the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. I thought that was also really done well. And
yeah,
so many people just piss and moan because it's like, well, it's not bad, blah, 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 so it's not
because
good.
it's not the original, so I don't like it.
Right.
But
There is
yeah,
nothing wrong with this Friday the 13th. Yeah, it doesn't take place after Jason X. This isn't Friday the 13th part freaking 11 here, or part 12 technically, because technically Friday vs. Jason was supposed to be part 10, but they just didn't give it a part because they didn't want to get it confusing or something.
yeah, 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 exactly. What
But
else?
yeah,
Real quick,
sorry this
yeah,
doesn't take place in the year
yeah,
5000 with Cyber Jason 6000 with his laser eyes and just vaporizes everybody in a second.
I know, right?
Like,
Um, yeah, sorry for it doesn't pick up on the timeline, but um, I was gonna say one more thing about this remake. They could have they this one yeah here I remember now. So um, they could have made like a couple movies off of this. I mean, I'm surprised they didn't keep going because
I
didn't it
think
do?
it.
I forget. Didn't it do well or did it tank?
I don't remember if it did well
I
or
think what
not.
happened. I think opening weekend it did. I forget, but I think opening weekend
Was
it
that
did decent, but
was
then
that
it tailed.
2016?
No, I think this was '09. But I mean, it's all right. We don't have to look at the box office, but I mean, they could have easily made at least one or two more, like a trilogy, like the Halloween trilogy we have today. Because I think it was decent. I mean, it must have been the reason why they didn't.
It made
Must have.
92.7 million in the box office. I don't know how much it costs to make.
Yeah, I'm sure it made. I'm sure it did well. But they could have. I feel like they rushed four movies into one. To just kind of, but they could have just picked up where this one left off. Like I know or they could have just took their time and kind of re. I'm not saying that I like this. I like the way this movie came out, but they could have just picked off, at least made a couple more. That's all I'm saying. Don't change the story. Don't change the timeline. Just pick up where this one left off. Make a couple more because I think it did pretty. I liked it. I mean,
I think people were just like mad about a few things, like it wasn't Tommy, it was a new guy named Clay, and like shit like that.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, I like Jared Pelinicki did a good job in that. I thought.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'd say A. But all right, before we end this, do you like our selections, or you want to move anything around?
Yeah, 1 second. Just gotta make a. Let's see. The usual here.
I know what he's doing.
Mm-hmm. Oops, I changed the wrong one. Yep, okay. That was supposed to be that color. That one can go back to being red. And yeah, we'll put Jason X there. Okay.
Sounds good. Squirrel too. Yeah. But yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, Jason X gets a squirrel here. Um, yeah, I think I'm not going to second guess it. I think that's where I place them. I would say I might even move part three. Part three, I would move up maybe.
You really want it in B tier, huh?
Yeah, because that's where he gets his mask, and that's not my so my top. Here's my top four. Ready? So um, parts two, part one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. Jeez, my favorite is part four. My second's number two. So
Yep.
best to worst. Favorites part four, followed by part two. Part one is three, the original, and then part six is four. So I mean, part three is not in my top four, but I mean, that's where he got his mask. I would give it B or C. I'm on the fence with that one, but
Hmm.
I mean, if you want to, up to you. If you want to leave it there and move it back down to C, second guess myself now, but yeah, I mean, it can stay. That's fine. I'm good with everything else.
Yeah.
But yeah, let us know what you guys think, and yeah, so yeah, would let us know if you want us to keep going with these horror movie rankings or franchise rankings, whatever. We like to talk movies, video games, cards, trading cards, everything. So yeah, thanks for watching.
Yeah. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
And and remember,
Oh,
smash that like and thumbs up,
yeah, yeah. And do
road
that
to
stuff.
50, and do all that
Right.
good stuff. Okay, bye.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.